Hi everyone, welcome to this two-part video series on Django. Part 1 is this video. We're going to talk about theory of Django, and part 2 we're going to do some practical exercises using the Django Web Framework. So right off the bat, what is Django? Django is a free and open source, full stack, opinionated, batteries included web framework. Some of its primary advantages include a very rich ecosystem. It's a very old and mature framework at this point. It comes batteries included with an entire admin panel. There's many plugins that support Django. Django has many built-in libraries, and Django has a fantastic ORM, Object Relational Mapper, for your database. More advantages include that Django is loosely coupled with tight cohesion, which means everything works independently from each other as much as possible. And some big names that are using Django right now in their backends include Instagram, Reddit, some parts of YouTube, Mozilla, Washington Times, who created the Django Web Framework, Bitbucket, and PBS, American TV. Now, I've mentioned batteries included a few times. What does that mean? Well, let's compare it to Flask. Flask is a lightweight web framework, which means it comes with almost nothing included. It's just enough to run the server and get a view out. Any other added functionality beyond that, you're going to need to choose and install and implement a third-party package of some sort, such as SQL Alchemy for your ORM. Django, on the other hand, comes batteries packed, features included, I guess you could say, with many useful things that a typical web project will need, such as a users table for the database, as well as other functionality with the users, a admin panel, middleware to protect you from cross-site scripting or clickjacking, and the ORM. And of course, forms. Django Forms is amazing and powerful, and also Django REST API, even though this is an external installation, kind of batteries included, makes Django fantastic for your APIs. So that's a bit on what batteries included are, and Django comes a lot with them. Let's talk a bit about Django versus Flask. Django is better for larger projects. Flask is better for smaller projects and smaller scopes. Django has many built-in features, like we just said, ORM, admin, templating, where Flask, these need to be installed manually. Django is bigger and does require more learning. It has a steeper learning curve and practice to become proficient at, where Flask is smaller and easier to get good at. Django is highly opinionated. There's a way to do your project in Django and the Django way, even though you don't have to follow it at all. Being Python, it's completely flexible, but there is the Django way. So there is this opinionation where Flask is not opinionated. You can do it however you want. Do your project, architect your project, however you want. Alright, let's talk a bit about Django architecture. Django is an MVT pattern, not C. So Django is a model view template architecture, where many other web frameworks are MVC, model view controller. Django abstracts the controller, it handles that for you. You just worry about your models, your views, and your templates, your HTML files. Talking a bit more about views and templates, Django comes with DTL, which is its Django templating language, which allows powerful dynamic HTML semantics. Django has its views, which is basically a Python function that accepts an object of type web request and returns an object of type web request. This could be anything from HTML to JSON, plain text, or just a HTTP code. Another amazingly powerful feature of Django is its class-based views rather than functions. This allows fantastic encapsulation when writing certain views and business logic, and comes with this whole own world of readability and maintainability. Django includes its middleware architecture, which is fantastic for pre and post processing of a request, before and after hitting a view or your templates. A great way to handle the request lifecycle in Django. All querying in Django to your database is done through its ORM, so you interface with the database in a purely Pythonic object-related manner. However, Django does support raw SQL queries should the need arise. Django supports mixins, which is a type of multiple inheritance, and they allow you to combine behaviors and attributes of more than one base class, and it's an excellent way to promote dry, do not repeat yourself code. Although that does result in some drawbacks with maintainability, for it's a bit more difficult to analyze what your code is doing and what methods are overriding what. So Django does support a whole bunch more, such as memcache and other caching in Django, Django signals, a variety of databases, static file handling, advanced querying, and then of course Django forms. This is a brief introduction and overview of the theory behind Django, and in the next video we're going to do some practicals to see what it's like to actually use the Django Web Framework. Okay, great, thanks, see you then.